What's going on, fight fans? Today we're predicting the title fight in each weight class of the UFC. Before I start, though, I want to say that these fights are based off my predictions of how the next title fight will go. So, like, Merab Yan 3, we all know that's next. I'm not going to make a video guessing Merab Yan 3. I'm going to guess the fight after that. Or, like, Pantoja Van 2, we all know that's going to happen. Or Gan Aspinall 2, Strickland Imavov 2, Islam Gary, Volk Evelev. You know, you get my point. But I'm going to be predicting what's going to happen after those fights. Starting off with the flyweight division, I think that we're going to see Joshua Van face off with Manel Kape next. You know, Pantoja and Van is a close fight. I just think Van looked really good versus Tyra, who's primarily a grappler like Pantoja. You know, in that like fourth and fifth round, he was sprawling on those takedowns and he was pressure boxing the shit out of Tyra. So it's going to be interesting. I think it's a 50-50, maybe more. I'm leaning more towards Van as of now, but obviously once that fight comes into fruition, we'll see. But I think Van wins that right now. And then on the other side, Manel Kape, you know, he's coming off that KO versus Kyoji Horiguchi a couple of weeks ago, the Gooch. And I think he'll probably wait out for a title shot. You know, he's already beaten Royval and Tyra. Or not, he hasn't beaten Tyra, but Tyra's coming off a loss. So I don't really think it makes sense to make Kape fight one of those guys for like a number one contenders fight. You know, I don't see it. So I think he just has to sit it out and wait until the Van and Pantoja 2 fight happens. But I think this fight would be really fun, you know, in the stand-up. You know, I don't think this is going to the ground very much. You know, Van with his pressure boxing and Kape holding a 3-inch reach advantage. I think this would be a banger of a fight. And I wouldn't even mind seeing this if Pantoja was a champion either, you know. So Van, Kape, next title fight in the flyweight division after Van and Pantoja 2. Next up, we got Peter Yan! I think that Peter Yan wins the rematch versus Merab. Once again, this is a close fight for Yan and Merab 3. A thing that I feel like that's forgotten about is that Merab's striking actually was improving throughout all his fights. From like when he first got the title to when he dropped it. Even though that did happen, though, I still think that Yan schools him just because he looks so good denying all those takedowns, and he's a better striker no matter how much work Merab puts in. So I'm gonna take Yan on this one. But the thing is if Yan wins, Sean O'Malley gets a title shot. You know, there's no doubt about it. Their first fight was a close, controversial decision, but no matter what, it was a banger. But it was a 3-round fight. I would love to see a 5-round version of this so we could get a true definitive answer of who wins this fight between Yan and O'Malley, and it's for the title shot. But if Merab were to win, I think you would give it to Umar. I think that by Merab winning, that locks Sean O'Malley out of a title shot. I don't think anyone wants to see Merab O'Malley 3. So whoever wins the Merab-Yan fight determines who fights next. So I got Yan beating Merab, and the next title shot will be O'Malley-Yan in the rematch. Next up, we got Alexander Volkanovski, and I think that he beats Movsar Evloev in his next title fight. And I think he has one more fight left in his career, and it'll be against the winner of Aljo and Gene Silva. I think that's the next fight for those two, and that fight should be a number one contenders fight. You know, I think Lopez is kind of locked out at this point unless Evloev wins, which I would love to see a rematch between those two. That was a banger of a fight. But Volk versus the winner of this would be awesome. You know, Gene Silva is such an interesting style of striking, not bad on the ground. And Aljo, you know, he was considered bantamweight GOAT until Merab and Yan kind of started cooking again. But, I mean, Aljo's insane on the ground. We saw in his last fight, he was ragdolling. So this would be an interesting stylistic matchup either way. So I think that, you know, making Volk versus one of these guys in his retirement fight, win or lose, it's a heater. Put it in Australia, let him go out. And, yeah, these are two guys that I would love to see fight Volk next for the featherweight title. Next is the lightweight division. We got Justin Gaethje versus the winner of Charles Arman. I've already been seeing rumors that this fight is officially signed for 331. Excited to see that. The first fight was awesome. You know, depending on how you see it, it was still a close fight. And when they run it back, we're going to find out who gets the next title shot. I think Ilya might come back maybe in December, but even then, does he really deserve a title shot? He never defended the title at lightweight, and I think him versus Paddy is the most ideal fight for the UFC, you know? Those are two big stars. Those two guys alone could headline a pay-per-view, and they don't even hold the belt, just because those are two of the biggest stars in the UFC. So I think they're going to save Ilya for a Paddy Pimblett fight as the number one contenders fight for the winner between these three guys. But yeah, Gaethje's sitting out the rest of 2026. 2027, we should see the winner of Charles Arman face Justin. And honestly, this might be a hot take, but I don't think Gaethje has a title defense in him. You know, I think he loses to whoever he fights next, even if it's Ilya Topuria. I think Ilya Topuria wins in the rematch. I think I have an odd feeling, guys. Humble Ilya Topuria is going to be a different animal. A lot of people are doubting him, saying that he's done and he'll never be the same again. But I think this might be a good thing for him. I think he might improve from this. So, Gaethje, Sarukian, Oliveira, whoever wins, that is the next title fight in the lightweight division. And the winner of that gets the winner of Ilya Topuria and Paddy the Baddy. Next up, we got Islam Makhachev versus CP Carlos Prates. I think that Islam beats Gary. I'm not confident, though. I will give Islam around a 60% chance. I just think that the struggle for Islam might be the height and reach. He is a legend. He is probably top 3, at the very least top 5 all time. And I don't know. That's the only thing I'm a little weary about. I think he gets it done against Ian Gary, but it will be very interesting. The only thing that sucks is that card sucks. That card fucking sucks. But other than that, Islam should have it in the bag. I mean, his wrestling is just insane. And, you know, Gary's okay on the ground. I think it'll be too much. I'll have Islam winning that fight. But Carlos Prates, man, is he a superstar. I mean, he bounced back good from that Ian Gary loss. He knocked out, I think it was Jeff Neal. He knocked out Jeff Neal. Sorry, not Neil Magny. Jeff Neal with a spinning elbow. Popped Leon Edwards in the face, dropped him cold. And then he does JDM dirty in, I forgot, it was 2 or 3 rounds, but TKO'd him too. So he's on a hot streak, and people are calling for Morales versus Carlos Prates. I think Prates sits. I don't think there's any need to risk your title shot against a dangerous contender like Morales, where you could make that fight after maybe Prates wins, or maybe he loses and then you give Morales the next title shot, or you give him a number 1 contenders versus Gary, or you make him fight Gabriel Bonfim. That's another possibility. I think that would be fine. But I don't think Morales did enough to earn the title shot. I think that Prates earned it. And Prates versus Islam would be so interesting. You know, Prates holds the height and reach advantage. You know, he's about 6'3". Islam's about 5'10", so he's a 4-inch height advantage. I think the reach is about the same, around 3 or 4 inches in reach advantage. He's a long guy, man. So Prates versus Islam would be such an interesting fight. Probably one of the cards of the year, or championship fights of the year, I mean. So, man, would I be excited to see Prates versus Islam. That would be a heater. So, get it done. Next up, I got Sean Strickland versus Dracus du Plessis 3. I think after Dracus's performance versus Usman was insane. That was a Dracus masterclass. That might have been his best performance. That might have earned him the title shot. I think that Nasruddin will get the title shot versus Strickland. I just saw something saying it's been rumored, but I think Nasruddin has done enough to maybe earn that title shot, especially because he has history with Sean. I mean, I think Strickland should win that. You know, Nasruddin does have good striking, and you can't count him out. I mean, the last time I fought Strickland, I'm pretty sure it was on short notice, but I got Strickland winning that. And Strickland versus DDP, I think, would be the next thing to make. I think Chimaev moves up to light heavyweight, but he definitely doesn't deserve a title shot, like a rematch. He definitely has to fight somebody first. But, you know, you make DDP versus Strickland 3. I think the first one was the real, like, the realest one. Like, that is what it's how it should go. I think the second one, he was hurt. Strickland was hurt. He looked like shit. I don't think that'll happen again. I think the third fight will be more like the first fight, very competitive, and that first fight was a spectacle. So I would love to see that again. And I don't really think anyone else can fight for a title right now. You know, Brendan Allen had a good win, but it was versus Shabazi, and like, it's not enough to get you a title shot. You know, I think Brendan Allen needs to fight like a Kyle Braulio, or, you know, somebody. So he needs one more fight for a title, maybe, and he might even fight one more time after that. Maybe a Chimaev or something like that, if Chimaev decides to stay. But I don't think Brendan Allen gets a title shot. I think that you got to make DDP Strickland 3, and I'm not mad about that. I'd love to see that. So next up, we got Carlos Ulberg versus Big Ank. I think Big Ank gets it done this weekend versus Bogdan Guskov. I'm not a big fan of that fight. I know it's a short notice replacement, but man, I wish it was a better fight. I mean, even Roundtree, I think Ank would have gotten it done, and I'm pretty sure this fight has to be for the number one contenders. Unless you have like the winner of Guskov Ankalaev fight, like Apollo Costa for number one or for the interim title, but I think you just give it to Big Ank. I think Ulberg will be back in the next. How long has it been? It's April, so it's been 3 months already. Maybe you can do an interim title fight, and it'll be between Ank and Costa. But even then, I think Ank wins. So I think the next real title fight will be between Ank and Ulberg, and that's honestly a really fun fight. I think Ulberg is a little bit similar to Pereira, except because he has that left hook, but he likes to fight off his back foot. You know, he likes to fight, get pressured, and he can counter. Whereas Pereira, I feel like, was more of a pressure guy. And when he got backed up, that's how he lost to Ankalaev. But I think this fight would be really interesting. I don't know who wins. It'd be primarily a striking fight. I think that something that gets blown out of proportion is Ankalaev being a wrestler. You know, just because he's from Russia and he has wrestling, he doesn't really use it. So I think this would be more of a stand-up fight. I'd be excited. I think Ulberg, I feel like he has all his potential. I like his fighting style. I just think that he doesn't promote himself enough. Like, he has a likable fighting style. It's just like, have you guys seen anything about Ulberg since he won the title? Like, except for him being at WWE and not getting recognized by anybody because he doesn't promote himself. So I think that if Ulberg promotes himself, he actually has a shot at being like, now obviously not on like this superstar level, but he has a shot at being like at least notable. People will get excited for his fights. So I think that it would be huge for him to beat Big Ank and promote himself more. But I think that's what happened next in the light heavyweight division. So I purposely didn't put a heavyweight champion at the start of the video. I didn't want to spoil it. I think Cyril Gane beats Tom Aspinall in their rematch. I don't know. I think Gane looked really good versus Pereira. I know Pereira, it was his first time fighting at heavyweight. He might have been slower. He gained a lot of weight. But I think Gane looked flawless. He looked really good. And I think he looked pretty good against Aspinall, too. I think he will get it done. I'm not 100% confident, like I said. And this is all hypothetical. This is a video about hypotheticals. So my prediction is that Gane wins. Maybe later down the line I change my pick. I think it's a close fight. Really good fight. I'm excited to see it. But right now I have Gane winning. And I think you make Gane versus Volkov next. You know, maybe you make like... I don't know. It's just hard because if Gane wins, you can't really give Pereira a title shot. Even if he beats like Hokit next, which I think that might be where he goes unless he comes back down to light heavyweight. And even then, who does he fight at light heavyweight? I think Pereira's in a pickle. I'm not going to get too into that right now. I'm going to go over this fight that I'm making. You know, they fought twice already, and Volkov has technically lost twice, but the second time, I think he was robbed. I think a lot of people agree with me that I think Volkov beat Gane, and he got robbed. So seeing this fight a third time, I think, is necessary in this scenario and for the title shot. Volkov has been beating everyone he's been facing, and he's just been getting snubbed out of these title shots just because this heavyweight division's been backed up with the eye pokes and stuff. I think Volkov deserves a title shot. Maybe you give him a number 1 contenders fight again, but I feel like we've been doing this to him for the last 2 years. So if Gane wins, I think you give Volkov a title shot, unless you want to maybe have him fight Sergey Pavlovich or something like that. But I don't know. I feel like we've been doing Volkov dirty. So if we make him versus Gane, I think that's a good fight actually in the heavyweight division. And the winner of that can maybe get Pereira if he comes off one more win, or Hokit if he beats Pereira. That'd be fun. But anyway, that is the end of the video. Thank you guys for watching. First video on the channel. Please subscribe. I'm going to try to drop as much as possible for you guys. I love doing this. I love talking UFC. I love watching. I'll have a new video up probably in the next 2 days. Stay tuned. Subscribe. Love you guys.